What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Appreciate the viewers for tuning in. We have a special guest today. My father's Jaime Garcia. And it's a popular cigar. I wanted to try it. Very rich chocolatey taste in the beginning stages. Closer to the middle part of it, so we'll see if it still continues. But anyway, had a message. Had a great night last night as far as dinner, great breakfast, and a lot of that came from the fruits of my labor. And I was just thinking, steak, lobster, shrimp, is what I ate. And to be able to do that on a day-to-day basis, really whenever I want to, is something that I'm extremely appreciative of. And I always want to give my thanks to the man upstairs for getting me here and giving me the guidance. But I will tell you, why it's important to never give up. Never, ever give up. Because failure is inevitable. You can't avoid it. And it's supposed to happen. That's the only way you get great. You look at the best people in the best positions, whatever they're doing, they failed a lot. And they were okay with continuing to fail because they knew that they were fine with losing the battle, but not losing the war. That's important because in life you have to judge and be able to gauge different things. And also something that's important is to be able to understand the balance between persistence and annoyance. Sometimes you can go too far. Persistence is understanding that you're supposed to be here and no, I'm not here yet, but I'm going to continue to put forth the things that make sense to get me to this direction. Annoyance typically comes from someone who's just begging for a handout or an opportunity and continues to ask without putting forth proof, effort. I talk about effort a lot because it's important. You must also humble yourself internally. No matter what level you're on, no matter what position you are. If you're at the top, if you're a billionaire, you have to humble yourself internally. Why? Because you are no better than no one else. You might be different, but you're not better. What makes you different is the work, the persistence, the repetition, the failures, the willingness to keep going. That's what makes you different. But being different doesn't mean you can't be replaced. Everyone is replaceable. And that's why you must humble yourself. Because when you understand that you are replaceable, but you are different, you'll continue to work hard without expecting anything. Everything that you get, you earned. And that's how you appreciate things down the line. But, staying on the topic of humbling yourself internally and that everyone's different. Credentials mean everything. That's your value. How much time you spend in a certain area, on a certain thing, mastering your craft in a specific, particular thing, you do your 10,000 hours in that area, there's a good chance you're gonna understand and know pretty much everything about that activity. But with understanding the activity, there's other things that you must do once you get to that point. And I wouldn't even say wait till you get to that point. What you should be doing in the meantime until you get to that point is networking. Networking is huge. It's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. If you look at, or if you ask any successful person, I'm pretty sure, and I can almost bet on this, I'd say 90% of the successful people that the world would consider successful had somebody give them a lending hand. Now, having that lending hand is important. It's not a handout, it's a lending hand. I'll tell you the difference. If I am a person that's on a certain level and I see someone that's maybe in an entry-level position who is trying to get on my level, and I'm around this person often, and they're constantly in my office. They're there before I am. They leave after I leave. They're constantly performing they're constantly doing things that are making them extremely valuable. Me being this high up person, I might be willing to lend a hand and say, hey, would you like a mentor? I'd love to coach you on a few things. You're headed in the right direction. I just see a few things that I can help put in your mind that you can take bits and pieces and incorporate it any way you want to. And you'll get to where I am way faster than I did. Why is the lending hand important? Why is it different? Because that's what propelled that person to where they are now. They're supposed to be there. That lending hand was supposed to be there because people understand that everyone doesn't have the opportunity. Opportunities are hard to come by. So if I see someone that really wants it, I'll help. And no, it isn't, I'm going to just give you this opportunity. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do this. No, it's just guidance. That's all mentorship is. It's guidance. And it's you taking the guidance and and incorporating it into your lifestyle. Doing the things that they told you, being coachable. And that's another thing that I'll talk about kind of later down the line. But why all of this stuff, the persistence, humbling yourself no matter what level you're on, you're no better than no one else. The networking, why is all this important? I'll give you an example. So a couple of months ago, I recently switched jobs. And not because I needed a job, not because of really any specific reason. My old boss, and I'll incorporate what I just spoke about into what I'm about to say now. My old boss, when I got hired at my first company, he left and went to the company that I'm at now. One of my counterparts that I started with, he also left and went to that company. So after months of them being together, they reached out to me asking if I was interested in evaluating the opportunity. Now, I've been promoted 3 times in less than 3 years at my first company. I have no reason to leave, no reason. But I value my old boss and I value my counterpart. Those are the 2 hardest working people that I've ever ran by in my life. So I value anything that they say, I'll evaluate it. And where did that come from? Networking. And also that lending hand. That lending hand, it wasn't just, here, Tim, take the opportunity. It wasn't like, here, just have it. He saw me work extremely hard. I was one of the top performing reps when I first started. Quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter, and I did not get tired. He saw that. And in this sales industry, people love that. That's why I do it. It's a cheat code. People want to see that. They want to see you go hard. So anyway, after they basically expressed the opportunity to me, I evaluate the opportunity. Speak to a recruiter. She basically tells me, hey, Tim, we would love, your credentials match perfectly with this position. What's your salary requirement? I told her. She said, we can't go that high, but we could do 10K less. Would you mind doing that? And I negotiated back and forth for a little bit, but then we got to a point where we kind of said, you know what, let's just get through the process. I haven't gotten the job yet. Let's get through the process and then we'll talk about it. Okay? So let me back up a little bit. Actually, that's not what happened. The recruiter, she mentioned that she would this is what happened. The recruiter mentioned that she could find another recruiter within the business that could meet my salary requirements. She would reach back out. I never heard anything. Weeks go by, my old boss reaches out. How's the process going? I haven't heard anything. He reaches out to another recruiter. That other recruiter, 10K, it's 10K less of what I want. That's the role. Let's get through the interview. So later that day, she sets a meeting for me to meet with the AVP. I meet with the AVP, he loves me. We're talking about my experience, 3 positions in less than 3 years. So he loves that. The company that I worked for, same industry, the company actually had more revenue. They're neck and neck as far as in revenue. So loved me from that. And I played football in college at a big university. Loved me for that, loved me from that. And we talked about some of the big upsets that I had. So we had a conversation. After that point, I pretty much figured I had the job. And the moment I thought I won is when I lost. I hope everyone understands that. The moment that I thought I won is when I lost. After that, I didn't, worry about preparing. I was able to just have a conversation for the next couple of rounds. Got through the next rounds. Went to the final round. It was a 60-minute presentation. I probably prepared for that presentation as much as I was editing it. So the time that it took me to create the presentation, the PowerPoint, is as much time as I prepared for it. Went through the presentation. After we got done, the feedback was brutal. But I needed to hear it. I loved it. I needed to hear it all. And I wanted to hear it all because I could only get better from it. But failures only push you forward. So I didn't know if it was a no or a yes. I just, I was left with gray area. Weeks go by, I hear nothing. I don't do anything. I'm still at my old company. But I was actually kind of hurt because I like to win, and I win all the time. Like I don't lose. So one day I was just randomly going through my personal email, which I never check. I just searched the company and I see the first recruiter. She referred me to another recruiter that can meet my salary requirements. It's been a month and a half when she referred me from the time that I'm at now. I respond immediately. She responds within minutes. Let's set up a time tomorrow. I meet with her. I take a completely different approach. And my approach was so different because of the failure that I just recently went through. And they met my salary requirements. So I'm like, let's actually try this time, because it was actually very attractive. Once I once I heard the benefits, once I went through the commission structure, once I went through the products, it was very attractive. So let me just make sure I have all this because I have it written here. But when she responded with the minutes, what I did in this process this time, I allowed myself to really study. I put the time in. Studied, researched, edited, and I set mock interviews with both the recruiter and the hiring manager. So I prepared my presentation before both of them, before I had my final round. So they gave me critical feedback. And what I did with that, every interview that I had, every meeting that I had, I recorded it. So when I finished my 60-minute presentation in my final round, they asked me for my feedback first. I was hard on myself. And they pretty much said, I thought the opposite. The hiring manager said verbatim, Tim, I gave you a list of things to edit, work on, fix, and you did everything I asked. I mean, I can't really give any negative feedback because I gave you feedback in the mock interview, and those were your problems. That's what I wanted to see you fix. And it wasn't like anything bad, but I just wanted to see you, better your skills in those areas. Okay. What did that show? Extreme coachability. What do? I'm aggressive, I am. I asked if I got the opportunity right after, we did the feedback and after the Q&A for next steps. And they obviously were hesitant to tell me. I get it, they want to collaborate and consolidate information amongst each other. A couple weeks go by, recruiter calls me, got the job, blah, blah, blah. And they actually offered me an additional $40,000 to my base salary with a great commission structure. So, fruits of my labor, very appreciated. Sorry for the long-winded video, but I did want to share because, man, if you keep going. No, sorry, if you keep moving, because going causes circles. You can go in the wrong direction. But if you're moving, you can only move forward unless you take steps backwards. But focus on keep moving. Persistence. But anyway, I'm out. I did go over my limited time that I wanted to record, but appreciate the viewers. Please subscribe, like the video, comment, do whatever you need. I'm trying to grow, so we'll see if we'll get there. But